Hi everybody, thank you for joining me. You're at home with Melissa, and in this episode I'd like to talk to you about the little beauties that you see here in this video. And they have a lot of different common names, including the Mickey Mouse platy, southern platyfish, golden moonfish, and there may be some others that the common platy I don't think I mentioned, but there may even be more for all I know. And they're a delightful little fish, and they make a great beginner fish for people. But before we go on to talk to them, I want to start off by giving a big shout out and a giant thank you to my friend Jennifer. Jennifer actually bought these fish for me as a Christmas present, and I absolutely love them. I spend at least a little bit of time every day looking at them. And you can see me reflected there in the mirror behind you, and I apologize for that. But Jennifer got them for me for Christmas from a friend of hers, and he had kept them in the summertime on a patio at his house because one of their favorite foods is bloodworm, and the bloodworms are mosquito larvae. So he kept these guys in an aquarium on his patio, and there they would eat the mosquito larvae and keep the mosquito population down on his patio, which I think was a really brilliant idea. And so they did what platies do and bred a lot. So he needed to find homes for some of the offspring, and luckily Jennifer thought of me and got me some as a Christmas present, and I really greatly appreciate it. I love these guys. They're really peaceful little fish, and when I say little, they only grow to be a maximum size of 1 to 2.5 inches, or about 3.5 to 6 centimeters in length. So they are kind of small. The female is usually slightly larger than the male, but not a lot. And they're just a really great fish, and they stay tiny, so you can have them in a tank quite often with other fish as well. And they are extremely peaceful. They are not aggressive at all. Make an excellent community fish. You can keep them with bettas and neons, shrimp, basically anything peaceful that will get along with them. They'll get along with the other fish as well. And they come initially, they're a freshwater fish, of course, and they come in the wild from Guatemala, Honduras, and Mexico, where they can be found in ponds, drainage ditches, and slow-moving streams. So they're probably not a real strong fish, and if you have a strong current in your tank, you probably won't want to keep these in that tank, but that's pretty rare. If you have a sponge filter or a back filter, as long as you can keep guppies and bettas and things in your tank, these guys will do perfectly fine. And like I said, they are a really good beginner fish because they don't require any real special care. They do like their temperature to be about 78 to 82 degrees Fahrenheit, which is, pretty warm, so you'll probably want to get a heater for their tank. And of course, as with any fish, you want to keep their water clean. Apart from that, no special instructions. Food, they can do fine on fish flakes, especially if you get the premium fish flakes, and look at your ingredients and make sure that they contain a lot of what the fish would need, which is just basically any premium tropical fish flake would be fine for them. You might also want to give them some of the bloodworms from time to time. You can buy those freeze-dried. You can order them online, buy them at your local department store or pet store, and that's a nice treat for them, and it's really good and nutritious. So they do like those, and that's about it. I mean, you can also give them black worms or anything else. They, in the wild, will eat small insects quite frequently, and they can live up to about 5 years. If you really take good care of them, you can look for one of these tiny little sweethearts to last you 5 years. Hey guys, come back. Come back. Where did you go? There, I'll scare them back your way a little bit. There they are. They're up in the plants at the top of the tank. And as I said before, they will breed prolifically, and they don't need anything special to breed. You don't need to change their water or their water temperature, add salt, anything. Although, as with all live bearers, which these are, live bearers mean they give birth to live young as opposed to laying eggs. And the platies and guppies, things like that, just about any of your live bearers will do really well if you add a tablespoon of aquarium salt per gallon of water. That helps them out, is really good for them. But you don't have to do that. The fella from whom these were bought never had salt in the water, and I don't have salt in the water either. They'll do fine. That's just an extra thing you might want to do. Make sure it's aquarium salt, though. You don't want to use iodized salt. That's really bad for your fish. And be aware that, as with many fish, if not all, if you allow them to breed, which basically means that you've got at least one male and one female in the tank, it's going to happen, they will tend to eat their young. And if you don't want that to happen, what you can do is, as soon as they're born, remove either the adults or the fry over to another tank until they get a little bit bigger. Now, you don't necessarily have to do that. If you have, as I do here, a fairly heavily planted tank, that gives a lot of places for the little fry to hide in and things, and their odds are better of making it without being chowed upon by their parents. So these are really great little fish to have, and they're cute. Oh, and they'll also sometimes eat algae, you know, and small crustaceans and things. So, you know, diet-wise, it's varied. Fish flakes, if that's all you want to feed them, that's fine. Get a good fish flake and that'll be fine. But other things they like is small crustaceans like the brine shrimp and things. There's a pregnant one. Like the brine shrimp and things like that, as well as small insects and things. And they'll be happy, you know. And they're just really great little fish. And they're really pretty. They don't just come in this combination of the orange with the little black spot at the tail. They also come in colors like, you can see them in bright reds and blues and things like that. So there are a wide variety of colors that you can find them in. And they're just really cute. They're pretty active and they stay tiny. And so you can put them in a smaller tank. And all of these things make them a really excellent pet. So if you're looking for a pet to, oh, there's a pregnant one, I think. Fish to start out, that one's definitely pregnant. The one up at the top. And so's that one. If you see the one, well, she's in the back of the tank now. You can definitely tell when these fish are pregnant because the female's belly gets really humongous. And people sometimes refer to the pregnant females as buses because they do get so big. I mean, they look like they're going to pop. They really do. And a pregnant female, you might see a black spot toward the back near her tail. What that is the eyes of the fry getting really close to their skin, and you can see them through their skin. So that's what that is, and you don't need to worry about it. It's not a problem. And just, if you get them, just keep the water clean. And I always advise keeping planted tanks, although if you do, you're probably going to end up with snails, which are a plus and a minus at the same time. They help keep your algae down, keep your glass clear, but they breed prolifically no matter what. You're going to end up with a lot of snails if you have a planted tank. And somehow, I've even seen people end up with snails in their tanks who don't have them planted. So, you know, being the plants are so good for the fish, I don't see any problem with getting them, even if you don't like snails. You can always take the snails out as they appear. So those are all the things that I can think of that you might want to know about the platy. And I hope you enjoyed this video. And feel free to comment below if you have anything you'd like to share with us about this animal. And if you have any questions, because I very well may have thought to mention something or whatever, feel free to leave the questions in the comment section. If I know it, I'll answer it. If I don't, I'll look it up and then answer it. I will find out for you if you have any questions. So thanks again for watching, and I hope that you enjoy the rest of your day and the rest of your week. And I hope you join us again in the future. Thanks. Oh, there's my hand. Hi. I'm waving, but you can't see it through the fish. Hi. Okay, we're going to say goodbye now. Bye-bye.